Hi, my name is Adam Whitmer. I'm the founder and host here at ComplianceCohort.com. This compliance clip is going to answer the question, when must a borrower receive a copy of the appraisal? So the answer, of course, to this question comes from Regulation B. And specifically, it comes from Section 1002.14, which is the section of Regulation B that covers these rules. Now, what 1002.14 says is a number of things, and it starts out by saying this. It says, a creditor shall provide an applicant a copy of all appraisals and other written valuations developed in connection with an application for credit that is to be secured by a first lien on a dwelling. So, first of all, this answers the question of when do the appraisal delivery rules apply? Well, the answer is when you have an application that is going to be secured by a first lien on a dwelling. That does not mean a consumer loan. It does not mean a commercial loan. It could be both. It means when you have an application that's going to be secured by a first lien on a dwelling. So this could be a HELOC, could be a commercial loan, or it could be a residential mortgage. Whenever there's a first lien on a dwelling. So that's when it applies. Now, as far as the timing, 1002.14 also tells us this. It says, a creditor shall provide a copy of each appraisal or written valuation promptly upon completion or 3 business days prior to consummation of the transaction for closed-end credit or account opening for open-end credit, whichever is earlier. Now, so it's a little bit confusing because it says promptly upon completion or 3 business days prior to consummation or account opening. Now, what does it mean to be delivered promptly upon completion? Well, the commentary to Regulation B tells us that completion occurs when the last version is received by the creditor or when the creditor has reviewed and accepted the appraisal or other written valuation to include any changes or corrections required, whichever is later. So, either when you get the last version with the final corrections or when the appraisal is reviewed by your appraisal review process, whether it's an underwriter or an appraisal reviewer or whatever that process is, once it's reviewed, that's when completion occurs. So then you have to deliver it promptly upon completion. Now, I didn't put it on this slide, but the commentary gives some examples of what promptly upon completion is. And they explain that a week later, delivering the appraisal a week later is prompt. So I would do it within a week's period of time because the other examples they give are waiting maybe 30 days or 25 days, 20 days seem to be not promptly. So the examples in the commentary say within a week, and I would stick to that. So it's within a week of affirming the final appraisal. That's really what we're talking about here. Now, 1002.14 goes on and also says that an applicant may waive the timing requirement in this paragraph and agree to receive a copy at or before consummation or account opening, except where otherwise prohibited by law. Any such waiver must be obtained at least 3 business days prior to consummation or account opening, unless the waiver pertains solely to the applicant's receipt of a copy of an appraisal or other written valuation that contains only clerical changes from a previous version of the appraisal or written valuation provided to the applicant 3 or more business days prior to consummation or account opening. So there's a mouthful there, but the bottom line is there is a waiver option. So all of this, let's try to put this in layman's terms. Basically, what the rule says is if an application is to be secured by a first lien on a dwelling, a creditor must provide a copy of the appraisal, either one of 2 things. Number 1, at the earlier of promptly upon completion. We talked about promptly upon completion being the final version of the appraisal within a week period of time or so, or 3 business days prior to consummation of the transaction for closed-end credit or account opening for open-end credit. That's your first option. The second option is if you have a waiver, the appraisal must be delivered at or before consummation or account opening when you have the waiver obtained in accordance to Regulation B. So you have to make sure you comply with Regulation B if you're obtaining a waiver. So that is when an appraisal must be delivered to an applicant under Regulation B. Now, that's all I have for you for this compliance clip. If you're new to the compliance cohort, this is a compliance clip that is a free video that comes with our basic membership. Our basic membership is absolutely free. What it is just a way for me to provide tools to those in banks, credit unions, and other lenders and others who are kind of in the financial industry, specifically with lending and deposit compliance, consumer protection. So if you have not signed up with the compliance cohort for a basic membership, take a look at our site at compliancecohort.com. Take a look at our basic membership where it's free. We have free videos just like this. We have articles, resources, giveaways, newsletters, a bunch of resources for compliance professionals. If you've been a member for some time, you also know that we have premium training products, full classes and courses that take deep dives into topics like Regulation B, available in our store at compliancecohort.com/store. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I hope you have a compliance-filled day. Thanks so much.